Hello class, Mr. Sands here with you for another screencast. Sorry I can't be here today. We are going to Charleston to play a boys tennis match there. Looks like the weather's going to hold out for us. Obviously Miss Fee is going to be my sub today. And if you need to check out this video in order to see me work through a couple more example problems, that's why I'm doing this here. So it's going to be kind of fast, down and dirty, but it just gives you an option to see and hear me talk out how to factor some of these quadratic equations that we've been working on in class. So let's go ahead and get to it. So right here, I'm going to just work off the Jamboard that we've been working on. I have example number 12 from the homework in 6.1. Let's go ahead and get set up here. We've got 3x squared minus 9x minus 9 equals 21. So you see the first thing is I need to get this 21 over on this side of the equal sign, so I have everything on one side and then 0 on the other side, because we are trying to find what values make this quadratic equation equal to 0. It may be 1 or multiple values, usually just 1 or 2, or sometimes not at all. But in these problems, they will be able to be solved for 0 because I have picked them to be able to do just that. So let's go ahead and use red here. I'm going to subtract 21, and I also have to subtract 21 there. All right, these will cross out. That's what I meant. That's what I wanted to happen. Now I have 3x squared minus 9x. A negative 9 and a negative 21 is going to combine to give me a negative 30 is now equal to 0. So that looks a little bit better. Now I've got everything on one side. It looks a little more manageable. And if you are perceptive like me, you will notice that this is a 3, this is a 9, and this is a 30. Quick mental math tells me this is divisible by 3, this is divisible by 3, and this is divisible by 3, because all of them have 3 as a common factor. Therefore, I can use the reverse distributive property, basically taking out a 3. So if I were to do that, let's do a different color here. Let's do blue. So if I take out a 3, now 3x squared divided by 3, I'm left with an x squared here. Negative 9x divided by 3, I'm left with a negative 3x. And a negative 30 divided by 3, that's going to be a negative 10 is equal to 0. So basically now, if I'm solving this for 0, I can divide. Yeah, let's stick with black here. I can divide each side by 3. And what I'm doing is this 3 divides out, this 3 divides out, and 0 divided by 3 is still 0. So now I have this equation, x squared minus, undo, 3x minus 10. Getting to be a little more easier to look at, a little easier to manage, and now I see I can do some reverse FOIL here. So basically I set myself up 2 sets of parentheses. I know the first one's going to be x and x. Factors of 10 that will give me 3. Well, what are my factors of 10? I've got 1 and 10. I've got 2 and 5. Well, 1 and 10, that's going to give me 9 or 11, so that's not going to give me anywhere related to 3, so that's out. But 2 and 5, right? If I've got a 5 and a 2, I can combine those and get a 3 out of those. And so I need to get a negative 3. So I want this 5 to be negative, and I want this 2 to be positive, because a negative 5 plus 2 is going to be a negative 3. And that is what I want. So I'm going to do that. I know I want a 2 and a 5, and I just said I need the 5 to be negative, and I need the 2 to be positive. Now, if I double check that over here, let's write it out in green. X plus 2, x minus 5. So if I do regular FOIL here, it should work out to be exact this exact same line, right? So x times x is x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 10. So x squared minus 3x minus 10. And of course, that's the same thing that we got here because we did our math correctly. Now, you don't have to do this every time. I'm just doing this because I'm teaching, I'm showing you the example, and I'm just kind of backing up to say, this is what I'm doing, and this is why I'm doing this, because you see that if I were to multiply them out, I'm going to get the exact same thing. So now I have two things multiplied by each other that equal 0. So I have to set them each equal to 0, and those will be the 2 points where this parabola is crossing the x-axis. It has a value of 0. So I have two equations now. X plus 2 equals 0, and x minus 5 equals 0. So take away 2, take away 2. This is going to be x equals negative 2. So at the point of negative 2, there's 1, 0. And then add 5, add 5. This is going to be x equals positive 5. So this parabola crosses the x-axis at the point negative 2 and at the point 5. So let's just check this out right here. Let's pull up Desmos and see if I was correct. Good way to double check. Pull up the graphing calculator. I don't know if it's going to register if I type the whole thing in. Let's try. 3x squared minus 9x minus 9. 3x squared minus 9x minus 9 is equal to 21. Yeah, hey, it does. So I could zoom out and I could see that's a really big parabola, but it does cross at negative 2 and 5, just like I thought it would. So negative 2, 5. Looks like I was correct. And if you wanted to double check the homework answer key, just to be certain, you know where I've got that at. Algebra class. This is Unit 6. 6.1 answer key to double check our work here. And we said this was problem 12, I believe. Yes, problem 12. X equals negative 2 and 5. X equals negative 2 and 5. And that is how we factor and solve a quadratic equation to find our values for 0. I think I've got time to do one more. I'm going to do 18 because I'm going to let you guys do 23 on your own. You got to do the BFU, the big fat ugly one, on your own. I will do 18. So here we go, 18, one more. Again, we got to get everything on one side of the equal sign. I don't want to mess with the x squared and make it negative, so let's bring this guy over here, and let's bring this guy over here. So what I'm going to do, change colors, subtract 2x, subtract 9. I have to subtract 2x and also subtract 9. Now I know this isn't lined up, but just follow me here, because these are going to cross out and these are going to cross out like I want them to. That's why I'm doing it. Now, let me rewrite. I have x squared plus 10x minus 2x. Well, plus 10 and minus 2, that's going to be a positive 8x all day. And then this is where I would put in my negative 9. And all that is equal to 0. Okay, so we don't have anything we can factor out. It's already a understood 1 right here. So this is where I'm going to do my reverse FOIL. So I got to think. Factors of 9 that are going to add up to 8. Well, I've got 1 and 9, and I've got 3 and 3. Those are the only factors of 9. 3 and 3 are not going to add up in any way, shape, or form and give me 8. I'm going to get 6 max. But if I have a positive 9 and a negative 1, I can get a positive 8 out of that, right? Positive 9 minus 1 equals positive 8. That's what I want. You know the beginning ones. X and X, always. X squared. Reverse FOIL is just going to be simply X and X. So it's not so hard when you break it down. You know you're going to have X and X. You know you're going to have a number here. You're going to have a number here. The trickiest part sometimes is just figure out what the signs will be. Maybe they're both going to be positive. Maybe they're both going to be negative. Maybe one's going to be one, one's going to be the other. You have to figure out, is the first one positive, is the second one positive? Well, it depends on where you put your numbers at. So I know my numbers are going to be 1 and 9. So if I put a 1 here and a 9 here, I need to get a negative 9. So clearly, one of them is going to be positive and one of them is going to be negative, because two positives will make a positive over here, so they both can't be positive. Two negatives will flip and make a positive over here, so they can't both be negatives. I need to get a positive 8 all day, and that's why I said I need a positive 9 and a negative 1. Now, I'm not going to go through and check this one out right here because I've just kind of talked this out, and this one's a little simpler, I think, easier to see. So now I have two equations that I need to set up to get my final answer. X minus 1 equals 0. So I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add 1. So x equals positive 1, because those cross out. So that's one value for my zeros. I also have this mini equation now. X plus 9 equals 0. Minus 9, minus 9. These will cross out, so x equals negative 9. That is my other 0. Again, we can check our work, type it in Desmos, and look on the answer key. Well, this is problem 18. I got the answer key up already, so let's look at problem 18. 1 and negative 9. Am I right? 1 and negative 9. I'm right. They wrote negative 9 first. Doesn't matter. That is the value. Those are the two values where x equals 0 for this quadratic equation. Now we can check in on Desmos and make sure too. So we have, turn this one off, x squared plus 10x we'll type it in as it is, equals 2x plus 9. So you see, I could zoom out. It's going to be a nice, huge parabola again. But if I go to my home screen, I am getting a 0 at the point x equals negative 9, and I am getting a 0 at the point x equals 1. And there you have it. There's two examples of how you can solve a quadratic equation using reverse FOIL to find the points where x is going to equal 0 in a quadratic equation and where those points will be on the parabola. Hope this helped, and hopefully this will get you on track to finish the homework on your own. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Peace.